Folks! My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. Today's conversation, a lot of you guys want me to cover this because it's a nice little nostalgia poke in the head. Today's conversation is on Funko Pops. The company who owns Funko Pops has put out a press release stating that they're having severe cash flow problems and they are a quote-unquote going concern. A going concern means essentially you don't have enough money or cash flow to survive the next 12 months without outside capital funding, a substantial business shift, or, quite frankly, in my personal Rudy terms, a miracle of some sort. Obviously, people have been sending me this message in the last 2 days because, well, as you all know, our friendly young lady, Cynthia Philip Morris Funko Pop Williams, who used to work for Wizards of the Coast Hasbro, who was known for Amazon dumps and doing tremendous damage to all the brands and companies she's worked for, left, let's just say that very nicely, Wizards of the Coast Hasbro, and she jumped immediately to corporate Funko Pops. And, well, that was about a year ago. And now, corporate Funko Pop, the company, is saying that they are a going concern. They are in serious financial problems because they're saddled with a lot of debt, and they may not be able to service the debt or keep operations going because they are a going concern, which is like hitting the red button in the room. You pull the red rope, and instead of a bunch of underwear falling, well, it turns on the warning light to everybody and all your investors and managers and owners and employees. So everybody wanted my reaction to this situation. And look, I'm going to try to keep the Rudy rant PG and kind of without getting too Rudy about this whole thing. But my overall opinion is we live in a society. We live in a world where, again, men, women, young, old, all ages, all races, aliens from different planets, we live in a society where people are put into positions of corporations that are not skilled to do the job. That is in Cynthia Williams. You guys know she's been this meme on this channel. It's been a whole thing in the magic world for years. I personally don't know anything about her. She may be a very nice woman. That's not the point. The issue is I've always felt she lacks the skill set to properly run a business. And for some reason, this individual keeps company jumping from, I guess, Philip Morris to Amazon to Hasbro Wizards to Funko, and she leaves like these dumpster fire, like wake of destruction behind. Like she just, I don't, again, it could be coincidental. Maybe these are variables outside her control, but you know, this individual is put in place to help manage and guide these companies. And for whatever reason, whenever this individual's around, the companies go to shit. But we live in this time where it's a tough dystopian because we need talented people. I don't care where they're from, who they are. They could be 18 years old. They could be 89 years old. It could be 45 chicks or 45 dudes. We need the smartest people to navigate some of these companies. We live in complicated times. We live in challenging times. The economy, the world is very volatile. For example, what's a good example? Let me give you guys a little fun Rudy story. About many years ago, the company reached out to me. I'm not going to give the name, but I'll give you guys a different name. My Hero Academia reached out to me. And I was this close to actually carrying their product, offering it to patrons, getting like 5,000, 10,000 boxes, building kits, and doing all these things. I thought it'd be a fun thing because I thought the game had potential. Well, I had some conversations in a meeting with this company, and they were so corporate, structured, unable to think outside the box, couldn't think for themselves. If I had a question, they had to run it through for 5 layers of management and get back to me in 2 months. Like, I remember at the very beginning years ago, and I remember thinking, we live in a time, folks, if you are not on top of things, you are going to get railed. You are going to get obliterated in this world, in this economy, in this market, in this business world. And again, this goes into an important life lesson for all of you watching this. Patrons, thank you for the support. Viewers out there, all the other store owners and businesses in the industry, I'm pulling for everybody. Because again, I always believe when all the stores, when all my competition, all the people who hate Rudy, when everybody out there does well and makes money, the game's in a healthy place of whatever card game you're into, when the products are well-engineered sets, everybody wins. Prices don't collapse. You don't have dumps and impacting distribution and stores and customers. When everything works, it's a beautiful thing. And everybody deserves to be successful and make money and have a fulfilling life where they can take the dirty thing known as money and they can deploy money in a way that they feel fit. That helps them, their family, maybe their local city and economy. That's the whole point of this stuff. The point of money is to deploy things and do things that are in a greater good, and it leads you on paths that can help you be happier, more fulfilling, and opportunities. Money's not going to make you happy. Businesses being successful is not going to make you happy, but it leads you to paths and opportunities where it can give you better choices that could allow you to be happier. It's a very dirty, tricky thing. And the thing is, we live in a time with these companies. You have to have good, smart people. When things go wrong, see, this is the thing. For all of you watching, you guys could just be selling on P.C.G Player, selling single cards, investing in sealed products, flipping Pokemon, grading cards. You could be doing whatever you're doing. But at the end of the day, we're all going to have bad things happen. People are going to come for you. They're going to steal from you. There's going to be people who are just simply put, you're not going to make happy. And they're going to be a very angry customer. And that happens to me all the time. I get these kind of hate and threats almost daily. It's just part of being an internet person, right? And for those of you out there just selling single cards on eBay or TCG Player or in a local store, you're going to have customers and emails. No matter what you do, you can give them free stuff. And they're going to get mad at you for not giving them something that's better, that's free. There's going to be things that are going to come at you. And you cannot do anything about it. There's going to be people who do want nothing but you to fail, want you to screw up, they want to see headlines of your store in your city going out of business. Because that is, unfortunately, a big segment of our modern culture in the drama machine and the social media machine. And the difference, ladies and gentlemen, and one thing, I have to give credit to Cynthia Philip Morris, Amazon Funko Pop stepsister Williams. One thing we have to give this individual credit for, she gets pushed out of these companies over the last 10, 20 years. And you know what? This individual, she keeps going. She doesn't give up. So no matter how much we don't like someone's skill set, or we hear in news of, wow, Cynthia Philip Morris, Funko Pop stepsister Funko William, dang, now Funko's in trouble under her. Oh God. No matter how you feel, you got to give the person credit because she doesn't give up. And to me, that is the most respectable thing that I give Miss Williams. She doesn't give up. And that's something that everyone out there needs to understand. Every day you wake up, if you want to try to get ahead in this world, if you're going to leave your house and go to work, commute to work, if you're going to go on the internet, if you're going to sell something, you're going to post something about a card or a person or a business, anything you do, historically, the odds are most likely you're going to have pushback from somebody somewhere at some point in time. The only difference between someone like me or someone like you or someone like Miss Cynthia Philip Morris Williams is some people take the punches, they take the ridicule, they get up again, and they say, that's fantastic, let's go to lunch. That's the difference in everything we do is what happens after the event implodes. For example, I expect Funko Pop's probably going to have to do some sort of bankruptcy reorganization or have an investor buyout. They're going to have to do something. From what I'm reading online, it sounds like Funko Pop is pretty much their debt, their cash burn rate, they're out of money. And essentially for them to publicly state what they're stating, it's bad. Because you don't want to do that unless you have to do it, okay? Which tells me, There's probably going to be a change in management. Maybe they change the print runs and the creative designs of their Funko Pops. Maybe they adjust limited editions. Maybe they adjust price points. Maybe they adjust business model between business to business or direct to retail. Or maybe, who knows what they're going to do? Who knows? But what I'm trying to teach you all, and I want everybody to learn, is that remember, every day you wake up, you're not being targeted. The world is not out to get you. The world is not out to get me. The world is not out, no matter who you are, where you are in life, everybody. Wow, this really became like a life lesson video. We should be thinking, Cynthia. It's important to know these type of speed bumps and these things that you pick up your phone, you read a headline, and you get a letter, a warning thing, or you get something's going wrong. A very wise person once taught me when I was working at Merrill Lynch back in the 2008 collapse. This person sat me down, and I think I was having a bad day because, I don't know, the Dow Jones was down like 1,000 points or 1,500. And understand, when the Dow was down 1,000 points in 2008, that's equal to like you guys turning the stock market on. And today, the Dow Jones being down like 4,000 points in a day. Like, let me make sure you guys understand that. Like, the markets were down like 10% in a day. Like, hitting circuit breakers, shutting down, taking breaks, closing early. Okay, and you know, I was pissed off, and of course, you know, clients and customers, everybody was just yelling at me, and Rudy, just sell everything, get me out of everything, I'm tired of the pain, stop the pain, stop the pain. And you know, these memories is what wired me to handle the card market today. You guys got to remember that. The things that happened is the reason I have heavy bags of collectibles, and I can handle no matter what the internet thinks is bad in Spider-Man or Pokemon or anything. Dude, you ain't seen the valley of the shadow of cardboard death until you've gone through some of the shit I've seen. You've gone through some financial stuff of like 2008. And so you haven't seen how deep that valley goes. And always remember that, folks. No matter how bad your day is, it could always be worse. Anyways, this older individual came down to Florida from New York, sat next to me, and was like, man, Rudy, you look pretty upset. You're having a pretty bad day, aren't you there, big guy? I said, yeah, everything sucks, bro. Teenage Rudy. I said, there's problems everywhere. Every client's a problem. Everything's got issues. Every trade is negative. Everything's bad. And I think we walked out of the building of the brokerage firm. We walked around the campus in the building. We walked around outside. And he looked at me and goes, you know, the problem is you don't view problems correctly. He says, Rudy, you have a bad relationship with problems. And of course, I'm looking at this old guy like, dude, I'm young. You know, this is we're talking like, you know, this is like 26-year-old Rudy. So I'm like young, I'm good looking, I have 4 more strands of hair, I have less waffle fry fat. Like, dude, you know, come on, dude. Like, you know, I'm young, I think I'm hot stuff. I've got at least $300 in the bank. I'm rocking it, okay? Rocking it. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, what do you mean? A problem with I don't understand. I have a bad relationship with problems. What are you, like, fucking, are you like am I learning some philosophical life lesson right now? And he says, a problem, anytime you think of a problem, replace the word problem with needs your attention. And that was it. That's all he told me. 15 to 20 years later, here I am, and I still think about that stupid moment. And now, something goes wrong. It's not really a problem. It's just something is out of whack, and I have to input my time and attention into that scenario to put it back in place. And I was like, okay, so every problem is a version or a situation that you need to apply more attention and effort to put it back in its normal, calm position. That's where the other thing you guys have heard on this channel in the last 10 years, where I talk about the rubber band theory. The more something is pulled out of whack, the more it wants to revert back to its natural state. And this all ties into that kind of concept and philosophy of viewing and dealing with financial challenges, life challenges, unexpected bills, people who are angry at you, customers. You know, you guys are out there. I know thousands of you guys watch this channel. And you guys sell cards and boxes, and you know, we all participate in this online cardboard economy. And there are moments, I get messages from you guys all the time about, Rudy, I just sold this $50 card in P.C.G player. the buyer is just saying the card's bent in half, has a dog bite. I've offered to give him a partial credit, and he says, screw you, I want it for free. And now he says, I'm going to return nothing. And, he's just tearing me up. Rudy, what would you do? I said, look, man, the best thing on everything is communicate. Respond and say, hey, man, I'm sorry I couldn't meet your expectations. Can I offer you some credit to make you happy? Otherwise, look, let's just return the card. I'll give you all your money back. I'm sorry I wasn't able to give you a card you're happy with. And you lose a couple dollars, whatever it is. There are things in life, you cannot win every battle. And that's going back to the end of this video with the Cynthia Philip Morris Funko Pop, Amazon.com, Cigarette Williams. The thing you have to admire by this individual is, for whatever reason, it could be a coincidence. Maybe she's from the future. For whatever reason, this individual works at these corporations and things go bad when she's around. She leaves and the timing seems to get better. That's all we can say. Past that, you have to give someone credit and respect for never giving up and trying. Even if you don't like the person, you don't like the company, you don't like what they stand for, maybe you have different opinions. Maybe we're talking about a store or someone on the internet who's blasting and pounding their keyboard with their penis, and they're thinking, game piece army. Every piece of cardboard with ink should be less than $1 because, it's a game. And I respect that opinion, but I'm never going to agree to it. But I'm glad you're part of everything. It's important to be a part of everything. Even though if every card had no value, the secondary market and the actual ecosystem around it would be a whole fun place to be in. But I respect that you're here and you have a voice. But remember, folks, the difference in everything is how you move forward from these problems. So as we end this video now, how is Funko Pop going to move forward? Are they going to change management? Are they going to restructure their debt? Are they going to default on their debt and go through maybe some sort of Chapter 11 reorg bankruptcy and settle with creditors and 50 cents on the dollar, or restructure the payments to a lower amount and try to crawl their way out? Are they going to file Chapter 7, liquidate everything, and an investor comes in, buys them out for pennies on the dollar? That's the difference on everything. You have to accept in life, ladies and gentlemen, when you do anything, there are some battles you cannot win. There are some businesses that are going to fail. And some of it is the people at the top and the bad management's fault. Back to the Rudy story. My Hero Academia. I was so pumped about it. But when I saw this corporate Goliath that is not allowed to make decisions without going through layers of management and choices on licensing and what we can and can't do, I remember looking at my cell phone and going, these people are going to get nuked. Because if they make a product that's good, they're going to reprint. They're not going to understand how much to reprint. Their response times and their behavior and choices on how to manage the game is going to be so slow and delayed, they're going to get annihilated. Obviously, fast forward, they got fucked and annihilated. I'm sorry that happened. They were very nice people, but that is the reality of the world we're in. The difference is when somebody, there are some people you should probably take more advice and pay more attention to. I'm not saying I have the answer to everything. I'm a dude on the internet. I get about 70% of the things I say right, and about 30% of the things we talk about, I get wrong. I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty proud about that. But am I right on everything? Fucking no way. I get shit wrong all the time. But the fact I get a lot right makes it worth it. So that's the life lesson for everybody today. I don't know if Funko Pops are going to be around, or they're going to end up selling the company, or they're going to restructure their debt and default on debts, and who knows what's going to happen. Am I surprised this is happening with Funko Pops under the current management? Honestly, I'm surprised they made it this far before any of this news headlines came out. Honestly, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. And to leave you guys with a good message on this, just remember that, folks. Business and life in 2025 and 2026 moving forward is difficult. It's complicated. If it's too good to be true, it's usually a scam or a lie. Rudy doesn't have the answer to get you guys rich and shortcuts in life. So if I did, wouldn't be on YouTube for 10, 11 years now. Everything's a journey. Proper investments and proper collecting is a lifestyle choice. It's a path you have to take. It's a commitment you have to make. And it takes a long period of time to see real results. Historically, like I've always told you guys, usually you need a decade or longer to really master a skill or a trade, or to see an investment or something you've been involved with, like a business, to really come to fruition. You need at least a decade, because by 10 years of experience in this world, and again, we all have a limited time frame, you get very good at stuff. Anyone out there who's done anything in this world, and you think about how you were the first week you did it versus 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, you don't even feel like the same person. Like, I look back at 10 years ago when I started this YouTube channel, and I look at my old videos and what I was concerned with. I was an idiot. Now I'm just an old idiot with less hair. And I get tired more, and it's just, that's the evolution of life. And unfortunately, we can't transfer all the data and our learning experiences to younger people. That'd be cool. Be kind of scary, but that is the world we're in. And it's all how you move forward. It's all how you jump over the problem. It's how you address the problem. How do you play your cards? How do you, do you just get angry? Do you say, Rudy, this guy on eBay, bought a box of Magic or a box of Pokemon, and he scammed me. He stole it. Went on eBay, so I sent him an empty box, and Rudy, what do you think I should do? First of all, that's terrible. I'm sorry that somebody went out of their way to steal from you. That's an awful thing. But remember, most people, I'd be willing to say almost 99% of people online, content creators, stores, buyers, sellers, they're good people. Everything is not a scam. And use common sense. If someone finds some shady website because you want the best possible price on the best deal of a Pokemon set for $50 instead of $200-300 a box, use your common sense. If it's too good to be true, there's a reason for it. From doing this on YouTube and the internet and being a social internet person for over 10 years, I don't try to be the cheapest person in the world. I've done that in the past. I've done it on certain sales. I've run sales 8 years ago for Modern Masters 2017 for, what was it, $199 or $149 for a box. Just below wholesale, everything. I've done things. I've done best price in the world. I've tried that. And sometimes you look back at these things and it doesn't matter in the long run. What you need to do is just offer things at a respectable price and respond and communicate and do the best you can. And in a long enough time frame, it will work out. That is the best piece of advice I can give people. Trying to undercut and do this and that, I get it all the time. For all of you guys selling a card or selling a box or anything on P.C.G Player, trying to sell single cards, if you fire sell your stuff, you'll get more orders. But you're also going to attract a different breed of customer, which is also going to lead to different types of customer service problems. The people who want their 6-cent, 3-cent, and 17-cent card, they're going to be higher maintenance than the person buying the $1,000 box of sealed Pokemon. You are going to have different types of individuals at different levels in this world. And you have to accept that some of these people, they're going to bring problems. And how you handle that is the most important thing. One last thing, and I'm ending the video, I promise. Remember one thing that another person taught me years ago. You guys can sell 1,000 cards on P.C.G Player and have 1,000 amazing experiences. But that one person, the one card you sold, number 1001, who treated you and cussed you out and stole your card, your brain is going to focus on that one bad transaction, and you're going to ignore the other 1,000 good transactions, because human beings are only wired to focus where the problem is. And all you're going to think about is how you're going to be stressed out all day and night because of this one bad transaction for X amount of dollars. And you're not going to give credit to the other 1,000 transactions and good people that you've been selling cards to. And this is something I deal with all the time because I remind myself of that. In, again, perspective, in mental stability, navigating this stuff is incredibly important. It's important to understand, do the best you can, and hope for the best, because there is a degree of right time, right place, and luck in life. I don't like using the word luck, but making good choices tends to lead to higher probable outcomes, which can feel luckier. But overall, your life is going to life. Always remember that, folks. I hope for some of you out there in the Funko Pop thing, for those of you into the Funko Pop world, we'll see what happens. It'll probably go through a lot of turmoil. I hope some of you out there maybe don't lose too much money in the Funko thing. But overall, folks, just remember that. We have a limited amount of time. It's all about how you respond to the problems. And problems are something that you just need more attention. You have to apply your attention to remove the problem. And you got to keep the stress and the focus under control. You can't let the one bad thing overcome your life from the 1,000 good things. Have a great day.